What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 3 of Let's Talk Fishing. Today we're going to be talking about crankbaits. Alright, before we get this video started, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that little notification bell after you subscribe so you can be first to be notified whenever I upload a new video. Let's get started though. Today we're talking about crankbaits. First of all, I'm going to talk about my past success with crankbaits. Crankbaits have always been like kind of a afterthought. First thing I think of is live bait for bass in Texas, like a minnow or bluegill, whatever. That's the best way. When I think lures, I think soft plastics, maybe spinner baits, and then crankbaits. Crankbaits are one of the best lures to use in the South for bass fishing or whatever type of fishing you're doing. They are very effective. Crankbaits, all I do, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but I just cast them out and then reel them in. You know, you can do different speeds, or you could reel it part way in and let it float up, or you could kind of like jerk it like you would a jerk bait, whatever. But I feel like the best way to work a crankbait is just a slow, steady retrieval or trolling. I think it's mainly largemouths I've caught on crankbaits. I can't say that I've caught a smallmouth on a crankbait. I've caught white bass, I've caught drum. They're great to use if you're tired of fishing soft plastics. Like, I don't always want to fish soft plastics. Okay, soft plastics definitely are one of the most effective ways to go after a largemouth, but crankbaits are a nice change of pace. When I'm fishing a crankbait, I look for deep water, specifically lots of rocks. You know, I think of big Texas lakes or Oregon lakes, wherever you're at. Just big lakes that have a lot of rock structure and maybe some logs, but you know, mostly drop-offs and go off of points. If you're in a kayak, paddle to drop-offs at the bank. I can't guarantee you fish. I would say it is very likely that you'll catch bass on a crankbait in a big lake. Now, pond bass also like crankbaits, but in ponds you gotta reel it really slowly. Okay, that's when it's best to reel a crankbait slowly is in a pond, especially when there's a lot of hydrilla or it's shallow, anything like that. I used to fish them in ponds a lot in Texas, and just, you know, ponds that were just like full of hydrilla. Just reel it slowly. The bass just love them. They just come up for them. Second point I want to make is trolling crankbaits. Throw them out of your kayak or boat, whatever you're trolling. If you have access to a water stupid hook. That hurt. I dropped a crankbait. I'm okay. I recommend trolling a crankbait over just about any lure. I love trolling crankbaits. Recently I was fishing at Lake Texoma for an entire weekend, having no luck. I tried everything. I tried all soft plastics. All I was catching them on was a grub, of course, because everyone knows that the fish love grubs. Grubs are like the easiest way to catch a fish, specifically white bass. But that's another video. Anyways, I wasn't catching any fish at Texoma except on grubs, and I wanted to catch something bigger. So I finally decided to troll a crankbait, and I'm telling you, within 10 minutes of me trolling that crankbait, I get hit, I hook it, I reel it all the way in. It's like a pound drum. Like a drum somehow fit the crankbait in its mouth. It was this exact crankbait. Right there, just a square bill. It's kind of like tan with a red eye and an eyelash, which is a little weird looking. Kind of looks scary. But anyways, I was just trolling the crankbait for like 5 or 10 minutes. Instantly got a drum. I trolled it like just across this one deep part, and then I went to the bank with my drum because it like kind of got hooked weird, and I got the hooks out of its mouth and let it go, and then I started trolling back to where I was, and as I'm trolling back, within like 10 minutes I catch like a pound white bass. It was crazy. Here is a shallow diving crankbait, best for panfish in like a river, pond, somewhere shallow. If you just want to catch some panfish, that's great. Now, another small crankbait is this. This is a deep diver. It's kind of short and fat, has a giant bill, giant lip, and this thing dives deep. Okay, this thing is for fishing a big lake. If you're fishing a big lake and you're not having any luck, try small crankbait too. It's not all about big. Like, sure, you're gonna catch bigger fish on a bigger bait. I get that. But a small crankbait like this dives deep down, but it's small. So something with a small mouth can get it. You're more likely to catch a giant bluegill in like a big lake if you're trolling something deep or throwing something deep, because they're not all the giant bluegill. Believe me, I've caught pound bluegill. They're not all stacked along the bank like typical bluegill. Start considering crankbaits. I'm not saying that they're the best lure to use anywhere. I mean, they're good. They're solid. Okay, you have a good chance at catching a fish if you put on a crankbait. Start considering crankbaits. They work. They're a fun lure to use. They're really simple, much like weightless Senkos that my last video was on, and grubs. So far in this series, I've talked about grubs, I've talked about weightless Senkos, and I've talked about crankbaits. Let me know what you want me to talk about next. I have seen comments in past videos of things you want me to review. Someone wants me to review topwater. I am going to review topwater. I actually have never caught a fish on a whopper plopper though, so I'm going to need to buy one and take it out and use it before I can actually give it a good review. I can review other topwaters if that's alright. And shaky head worms. I will review shaky head worms eventually. I have a long list of things I've been wanting to review. Like, I thought about doing this series for a while and I had all these ideas and then I never did it, and now I haven't been able to go out fishing as much, so I have more time to do videos like this. So please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate you guys.